students, we will be talking about information and library network, INFLIBLENT Center, where we will be talking about the services being provided by INFLIBLENT Center to universities and colleges. In the part 1 of this talk, we spoke about library automation, union catalog, Vidwan database, Soul software and library automation activities being carried out in universities and colleges with the help of INFLIBLENT Center. In part 2, we will be talking about library consortium, that essentially means providing access to electronic resources, which including electronic books, electronic journals and electronic databases to universities and colleges through programs funded by UGC or MHRD to the universities and colleges. So, before we go upon talking about library consortium, I will be giving a gist of activities that INFLIBLENT performs. So, let us look at the journey of the INFLIBLENT Center. This basically talks about this portion of this part of the talk, where we will be talking about UGC Infonet Digital Library Consortium, ENLIST, a college component of UGC Infonet Digital Library Consortium and Industry ICT Consortium, which put together formed what is called eShodh Sindhu. So, we will be talking about these developments in library consortium. Now, coming to the growth and genesis of INFLIBLENT Center. The INFLIBLENT Center was formed in 1991. It was a project of IUCA, which is yet another inter-university center of UGC, and to take up the feasibility whether this initiative would be fruitful or not. It was taken as a project, and in 5 years it matured to become an inter-university center of University Grants Commission. Till 2002 to 2004, we were known for library automation, for union catalog, for Soul software and other activities. In 2004, yet another very important development happened, where we added 2 components to the UGC Infonet, 2 components to INFLIBLENT Center. One was UGC Infonet connectivity program, where we provided internet bandwidth through universities, and another was UGC Infonet Digital Library Consortium, where we provided access to electronic resources to especially university to begin with, and later college was added. From 2007 to 2012 we consolidated, and now we have a series of new activities that we will be talking about. Library consortium is one of them, and we will be talking much more detail about the library consortium. Now, let us look at some of the activities that INFLIBLENT Center has done before we come to the library consortium. One of them, like I mentioned in my part 1 talk, is library automation, databases and Soul software. So, during 8 and 9 plan, 142 universities were funded. They were given funds for automating their libraries. The product of library automation, that is bibliographic records, were contributed to INFLIBLENT Center, and we made a union catalog out of it. So, union catalog is one of the major projects that we have, and Vidwan database, which is basically profile of faculty and scientists in R&D organization in university, is made. So, we have a Vidwan database. Then library consortium, like I mentioned, is one of the very important activity we have, where UGC Infonet Digital Library Consortium was started in 2004 for universities. About 230 universities are currently benefiting from it. College component called ENLIST was formed in 2010, first as a project of NME ICT, which provides access to more than 4,000 colleges, which the access includes e-books and e-journals. And the third component is basically formation of consolidation of ENLIST, UGC Infonet and Industry ICT Consortium. Basically, all 3 consortium that were funded by either UGC or MHRD was formed into eShodh Sindhu. So, I will be talking about eShodh Sindhu in detail in part 2 of this presentation, which is the current presentation. Yet another program that we have is open access, where we make databases and provide free and open access to everybody. Shodh Ganga is one of our leading initiative, where we provide access to full text electronic thesis to everyone. It is open to the entire academic community. The Shodh Ganga has now more than 1 lakh full text thesis available in it, contributed by about 250 universities across India, and many more are joining these initiatives. So, I will be talking in detail in part 3 about Shodh Ganga. Another initiative in open access is Shodh Gangotri, where synopsis, approved synopsis is deposited in the repository, so that others, new students registering for PhD would know that this topic has already been taken. So, Shodh Gangotri is basically designed to ensure that there is no duplication in research. Another open access initiative we have is called OJAS, Open Journal Access System, where we provide a platform to faculty and student in university to start their own open access journals, or to what is already being printed can be made available in open access, especially the e-format. OJAS, and then yet another important open access initiative we have is called Institution Repository at INFLIBLENT Center, where papers written by faculty of the INFLIBLENT Center, scientists of the INFLIBLENT Center, and papers appeared in proceedings of the planner and proceedings of the caliber are kept in open access for anyone to use. So, these are essentially 4 important open access initiatives that INFLIBLENT has. I will be talking about it in my third presentation, or part 3 of this series. And yet another open access initiative we have is called ICSR Data Repository, which provides access to data generated by MOSPI, that is Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. All the data, unit level data, is available in open access through this repository. I will be talking about that also in part 3 of my presentation. UGC Infonet Port is another, InfoPort is another initiative we have, where we provide link to important academic resources available in open access through this InfoPort portal. Beside that, we also have e-learning initiatives, which include EPG Pathshala, where content in 77 subjects are being generated by faculty in the universities for about 77 subjects, and library and information science is one of the subject that INFLIBLENT directly deals with. Under library and information science, we have more than 500 e-modules available across various papers in library science, and you are invited to make use of them as supplementary material to the courses that you are taking. So, beside these initiatives, we are also part of university ranking. You must have heard of NIRF, that is National Institutional Ranking Framework. INFLIBLENT support NIRF through a web portal. We have designed the web portal, and we also provide material about publications, citations, average citations, and other parameters that are taken into consideration in NIRF. So, this was in nutshell about activities of INFLIBLENT Center. Now, let us take up the consortium part of it, which we want to take under this program. When we started providing access to e-resources to university, we realized that university do not have access to internet also. So, we provided first internet to universities, which was about 10 Mbps connectivities was given to university till NKN came over. So, when NKN came, which is National Knowledge Network, now it provides access to internet access to every university. So, UGC Infonet connectivity program was merged into NKN, but UGC Infonet Digital Library Consortium is what continues, where we provide access to about 28 e-resources, including 11 bibliographic databases and 8,500 journals to every universities. So, now every university have access to this many 8,500 journals, 11 bibliographic databases, and colleges also have e-books. So, UGC Infonet Digital Library Consortium Indus AICT consortium, which is was being run by IIT Delhi. It provides access to about 65 CFTI, that is centrally funded technical institutions. They are provided access to about 10,000 journals and about 5 important bibliographic databases through Indus AICT consortium. And last component of this consortium is ENLIST, which is basically college component of UGC Infinite Digital Library Consortium. It provides access to about 6,000 electronic journals and about 1,35,000 books to about 4,000 plus colleges. So, these 3 consortium were being operated separately with separate fundings. Now, they all have been merged to form what is called eShodh Sindhu. So, eShodh Sindhu basically takes over all the functions of these consortium put together into one. So, we will be talking about this in detail one after another. UGC Infinite Digital Library Consortium, this was started in 2003 for university. To begin with, in 2004 we gave access to about 50 universities, and every year new university were added. So, as on now we have about 30 universities that are getting access to about 8,500 journals and about 11 bibliographic databases. So, access to these universities are provided on IP addresses. IP addresses are unique identification for internet. So, these all universities have unique identification in terms of IP addresses. Those IP addresses are enabled to access these 8,500 e-journals and 11 bibliographic databases, and they get access without requirement of a login ID and password in their respective campus. That means, as long as a student or faculty is on campus, he gets access to these resources, uninterrupted access to these resources along with back files. So, it is not only current access, but even back files are also provided access under UGC Infinite Digital Library Consortium. The program was launched in 2003 by the then President Professor Abdul J. Kalam. Of course, it now continues in a different format. So, like I mentioned, 8,500 journals are provided, and then we have bibliographic databases which include SciFinder Scholar, which is basically chemical abstracts online, available from 1907 onwards, MathSciNet 1940 onwards, Web of Science, which is basically a citation database from 1945 onwards. So, and e-journals comes from important publishers like Science Direct, Wiley International, Springer Verlag, Taylor and Francis, American Chemical Society, American Physical Society, Project Euclid, Project Muse. So, there are several, almost you can say all important publishers are already covered for providing access to e-resources. We maintain a comprehensive website which provides information about beneficiary universities, information about which university gets what resources, information about contact people in these universities, and we also provide troubleshooting help in case university have problem, they can approach us and get it solved. We provide e-tutorials and PDF tutorials for every resource that is provided access to. So, student can take benefit of these tutorials and optimally use the resources that we provide under these initiatives. Beside the site also capture the data usage of resources. In a traditional library, the circulation of books is the statistics that they get, how many books are issued, how many books are returned, but there is no way you would know as to how many articles are being used. In electronic environment, that is the benefit. Every time you click at an article, there is an event that is recorded in computer, that article is downloaded, and if it is downloaded, possibly it would be read also. So, every download instance is recorded, and we keep these statistics throughout the year and publish it on our website, which users can access or the libraries can access to see how they are doing in respect to one resource. So, they can find out how many articles they downloaded from Science Direct, how many from Springer, which use is more, which resource is more used, which resource is less used. So, those kind of statistics are readily available using the technology that we have adopted for this purpose. So, if you look at the usage analysis, we have a platform called INFLIBLENT, which keep track of downloads of articles. So, every time an article downloaded, it is recorded which university has done that and from which journal. So, journal level statistics is available. University is provided login ID and password for accessing their downloads and to see whether it is being done or not. Now, if you see this graph, you will witness that there is a consistent growth in number of articles that are downloaded from UGC INFLIBLENT. This is because of course, the number of universities have increased. Meanwhile, we started with 50 universities, now we have more than 230 universities. So, number of universities have increased, number of resources have increased. In 2010, we added Science Direct, which is about 1000 journals, and Wiley International, which is about another 600 journals were added. So, number of resources were increased, number of members increased, number of students in universities increased. So, with these increase, the number of downloads have also increased dramatically. You can see that it has increased from 13.54 lakhs to about 211 lakhs. So, this gives us a strength to go back to the ministry, to the UGC and convince them the resources are being used optimally, and it is a good idea to spend money in this for purchasing e-resources and providing access to them. You can also see that with increase in number of download, the average cost of article has also come down drastically. You can say that in 2009 it was $1.35 and now in 2014 it is $1.17. So, consistently the average cost of article is coming down, which gives the strength to the consortium that there is a benefit in buying e-resources in bulk at subsidized rate and provide it to the universities and colleges across the country. We have also conducted a study where we found that once we started giving e-resources to universities, the number of downloads have increased and number of publications from these universities have also increased. What we found that there is a direct correlation between number of articles a university writes and number of articles that they download, which also means that if you download more articles, you are likely to publish more articles, and this has been witnessed through a systematic study we have conducted. You can also see that this graph shows download of articles or production of article at interval of every 5 years. You can see there is a dip in number of articles that were being written by university from 1985, 89 onwards till 1995 to 99. Then there is a increase. The increase when we started giving access to e-resources in 2005 to 2009, which is 5-year period, you can say that increase is almost 75%. And there is a direct correlation between number of articles that a university download and number of articles that they write or they produce, and that correlation is 0.75%. So, which is a direct reflection that if you have a better library, you will have better usage and there will be more people who will be writing more articles. So, there is a direct correlation which is established. So, this was about UGC INFLIBLENT. Let us now talk about ENLIST consortium, which is basically college component of UGC INFLIBLENT Digital Library Consortium, where we provide selected e-resources to colleges, and which is a basically subset of UGC INFLIBLENT resources. So, some of the resources have been selected specifically colleges by a committee that was set up by the NCRD to identify resources. So, we provide about 6,300 journals to colleges, about 4,000 colleges and about 1,35,000 electronic books. So, Now, the problem with the college is that colleges are very small institutions, they do not have IP addresses. Now, when they do not have IP addresses, how do you provide access to them? So, as a via media, what we have done is we have set up a proxy server at INFLIBLENT Center, where login ID and password is provided to every students. So, which means that any college can register anytime with us, we will create login ID and password for them, and their student can log in or get authenticated from INFLIBLENT website. They can provide their login ID, password, and then they are passed on to the publisher for using electronic resources. This arrangement is called proxy arrangement. So, we act as a proxy between colleges and university. Once they are authenticated, then they go to the respective publisher and download articles that they need. So, the model that we adopted for colleges is that we provide one subscription for 200 colleges, which means for 4,000 colleges we provide about 20 subscription, which also means that what we pay for Delhi University or IGNOU or say Jamia Millia is good for 200 colleges. So, this model is economic and it is working fine, and the best part is that every student, every faculty has a login ID and password, which means that he does not have to go to his college for accessing resources. He can sit at his home, he can sit in a cyber cafe, log in and get access to books and journals, whatever he wants. So, this is the model that we have for providing access to colleges. Usage is important, because when it comes to spending money, one thing which is austerity measures are important, whether e-resources that you provide are being used or not. So, we have ascertained that the e-resources that we provide to colleges are used, they are used optimally, and we have been able to recover the cost that we incur on subscribing to these resources. This cost is basically in terms of number of downloads, and if you consider that every article is about $5, then I mean the total cost paid is recovered in a way. So, this kind of exercise we do. There is we have collected statistics for e-books, for e-journals, and other cost benefit analysis have also been done. Now, let us look at the third consortium called Industry ICT Consortium, where MHRD provides funds to the IIT Delhi for subscribing to e-resources for centrally funded technical institutions, which include IITs, NITs, IIITs, IIMs, ICERs, and there is other institutions that are funded directly by the MHRD. So, this consortium was working from 2003 to 2015. In 2016, they have been merged to form a single consortium. So, this had about 63 members, and AICT supports about 60 members, total about 123 members were there. These are the list of resources that they subscribe. You can see IEL Online, Science Direct, Springer Leak, ABI Inform. So, there is a long list of resources that they subscribe. Total number of e-journals that they had was about 10,000 journals, and they had a long list of bibliographic databases, about 7 of them: Compendex, InSpec, Web of Science, SciFinder Scholar, BatsciNet, JCCC and JGate. So, now what has happened is the Government of India decided that all the consortium activity funded by UGC or MHRD should come into a single interface. So, UGC Infinite Digital Library Consortium, ENLIST Consortium and Industry ICT Consortium is merged into one, which is called eShod Sindhu. Now, eShod Sindhu provides access to about 66 CFTIs, 221 universities, 72 centrally funded technical institutions, which are basically funded by AICT, about 4,500 colleges, and they are getting access to about 15,000 journals, about 1,35,000 e-books, and many more books are being added. The government has decided that Word e-book library and South Asia collection would also be given to all institutions that are under eShod Sindhu, as well as some other institutions would also be included in this initiative. So, eShod Sindhu, major objective of eShod Sindhu was subscription to e-resources, to CFTI, universities and colleges, off-campus access to e-resources, which means that even if the person is not available in the university, even if he is traveling or even he is at home, he should be getting access to e-resources. So, we are working towards that. We are reaching to private colleges, self-supported colleges, so that they can also take benefit of access through our associate membership program. And we are developing bibliographic and citation analysis research output reports for member institutions. Metadata harvesting is being done, so that federated search services can be provided. We are developing online tutorials and courseware and creating archives of subscribed content. This is a very important component, so that archives can be created, and we are also trying to address to the legal issue, which basically means model licenses should be there for getting access to e-resources. So, in summary, I can say that we have talked about 3 major consortium: ENLIST, UGC Infonet Digital Library Consortium and Industry ICT Consortium, and merger of the 3 consortium in one, which is called eShod Sindhu. So, we talked about eShod Sindhu. eShod Sindhu is in formation only for a year now, but it is growing and it is trying to cover more and more institutions. It is trying to evolve its associate membership program. It is trying to add archival access and model licenses. So, I would see that the basic mandate of the consortium is to provide cheaper access or to economic access to more and more resources to more and more institutions, and that I can see that that task is going to be met in coming years, when more and more institutions join the consortium to get the benefit of lower rates of subscription. With this, I thank you for listening to the part 2 of this presentation on Information and Library Network Center, INFLIBLENT. Thank you.